What's up guys, it's James here, and in today's video I'm going to do probably the most, I think, helpful video I've ever put together. I think this will really help to relieve some people's stress. We're going to be talking about how you can achieve SuperHost status on Airbnb without worrying or caring or stressing about reviews. And I say that this is probably one of the most helpful videos I'm going to put out, not because I think it's going to make the greatest impact. There are tons of videos on this channel about how to really succeed with Airbnb, make a six-figure income, everything else. But really, this is one area where I just see people stressing so much, and I constantly have so much empathy for people who are stressed out about their SuperHost status, and I really hope that this video can do something to help relieve that stress for some people and help them to achieve success without it taking all of their mental energy and enjoyment out of it. You know, one of the big reasons I put this channel together and do everything I do these days is because I really believe that people build incredible lives when their income is sorted. You know, when you have your income sorted out and you don't hate your job, you actually enjoy what you do, that then you once you have that sorted out, you can then go and focus on, hey, what kind of a difference do I want to make in the world? What are the things I actually care about? How do I want to spend my time? And that makes the world a better place. I think that less people having to stress and care about money is going to make the world a much better place. I think people can be caring about one another a lot more. And so that's really one of the driving reasons why I keep on doing what I do. And so I really hope that this can help to take some of that stress out of making money on Airbnb for the people that are fortunate to see this video. So that's enough about that. Let's go ahead and dive into it. Before we do, I just want to remind you that we really do have some incredible trainings that are linked in the description down below that will dramatically shorten your timeline to success on Airbnb. So whether you are hosting your own property on Airbnb and you just want to do better, you want to get better results with it and take less time and less stress, there's a training for that. If you want to manage other people's properties, earn a full-time income managing other people's properties on Airbnb, there's a link in the description for a free training on that. And that uses all the same systems, tools, strategies that I developed over years of building that business, all the trial and error. It's really distilled down into the step-by-step process for how to succeed. We've now worked with over 600 students, helping them to manage properties for other people and build businesses. We've got tons of six-figure earners. We've got people that replace their income, their 9 to 5, and I would love for you to be next. I would love to help you on that journey. So if that's something you want to do, there's a free training linked in the description down below that will help you to do that. And then the last one is if you want to start investing, if you've got some funds, you want to invest in short-term rental properties and actually purchase vacation homes or short-term rental properties that will cash flow incredibly well and help you to build long-term wealth so that you can completely remove yourself from working and spending your time for money, then I would welcome you to check out the final link in the description, which is a free training for that. All that being said, let's jump into it and let's talk about how you can get SuperHost status, perform exceptionally well on Airbnb without stressing and caring about your reviews. And so what this really comes down to is a fundamental shift on how you're going to look at reviews on Airbnb. What I see more often than not is that people see reviews as just an indication of how the guest felt and an indication of, their value in the marketplace. People get offended, personally offended, if they get anything less than a 5-star review, and they see that as just some indication that the guest was dissatisfied and that that's really all there is. And so people often feel this animosity towards their guests, and then that breeds into them being worse hosts, which then gets them worse reviews, and you can see how that cycle doesn't lead to a very good place. What I would encourage you to shift your thinking towards, it's not a massive shift, but just shift your thinking on reviews as instead of seeing them as a critique of your performance, not critical, it's feedback, right? It's constructive. Think of it as instead of critical feedback, as constructive feedback. So anytime that you're getting less than a 5-star review, you really want to make sure that you're communicating the guests to ask them why, so that you can understand how you can improve. Now, you don't need to start out perfect when you're on Airbnb. You never need to be perfect, but you don't even need to start out close to perfect when you're on Airbnb from a hospitality perspective. Right? You don't need to have absolutely everything dialed in. You need two things. Number one, you need to be committed to delivering value to your guests. So if you get started and let's say you launch your listing and it's not quite perfect, you forgot to have the coffee maker, or you forgot the coffee grinds, or God forbid there's not enough forks or plates or something, or maybe the instructions for how to operate the TV weren't perfect, they weren't operational, they weren't super well laid out, and so the guest had some issues. Well, if those mistakes happen, then those mistakes happen, and it's not a big deal. Where it becomes a big issue is if, number one, you're taking the feedback as too critical and not constructive enough that you're actually just ignoring it, not improving it. And number two, if you're not committed to delivering the value to your guests and making sure that you make it right. So early on, if there are mistakes you make, don't be afraid to just give the guest a bit of a refund. Do something, drop off something nice for them, a little gift basket, a bottle of wine, something. Maybe not a bottle of wine because there might be legalities around that, but do something, some gesture to make it up to the guest if you made some mistake in your hosting. That's the cost of doing business, and it's just the cost of being a good person and being committed to delivering value to your guests. So if you do make those mistakes, the most important thing is to make them right. And honestly, more often than not, what I've found is that it's not the mistakes we make as hosts that lead to bad reviews, it's the way we deal with those mistakes. So anytime that you make a mistake, see that as an opportunity to handle it really well so you can actually get an even better review than you would have. A perfect example of this is if I go and I stay somewhere and the host has made a mistake where they, for example, didn't leave a frying pan. I've had this happen before where I didn't get a spatula. So I had my eggs in the frying pan and, well, shoot, I don't have a spatula. So now I've got to run out to the store while my eggs are half cooked and I've got to go get a spatula so I can flip my eggs. And that to me was crazy. And now if I reached out to the host and they did nothing about it, they just said, oh, I'm so sorry, then I would have been pretty upset. Hey, that's not a really nice way to treat your guest. It's a pretty basic thing to have. If you're going to have a frying pan, makes logical sense, you should have a spatula there. But if I had reached out to the host and they had, really apologized for it and they had reimbursed me for the spatula or they'd gotten one over to me quickly, I would have been thrilled. That's a great experience right there to have them care enough about me to right that situation to make up for the mistake that they made. And so there are really hidden opportunities in all of that feedback. And so whether it's happening in the moment or you get that negative review, maybe you get that 4-star or God forbid a 3-star review on Airbnb. Now I know that the platform makes you feel like that's detrimental, but really it's only detrimental if you get those consistently. And the only way you're going to get those consistently is if you don't make improvements. If you take the feedback from the guests, take that review, take the feedback from it and use it to improve your listing, then you're surely going to keep on getting better and better. Now, the real benefit here is that yes, you're going to get better and better reviews, but you're also going to be delivering more and more value to your guests over time. And as you deliver more and more value to your guests, your listing is going to get more booked up for higher rates as well. So can't tell you the number of amenities that we've added to our property. For example, we've added cribs, high chairs, things like that, because we realized that families would reach out to us and they were staying at our listing. They said, oh, I really wish you had that. Now, a lot of hosts would look at that and they'd go, oh my gosh, that person's so entitled that they wish they had a crib. Well, who are we to have to supply a crib? Well, you're in the hospitality business, right? Like our job is to give the people what they want. They're paying us to give the people what they want. So let's give the people what they want. Something fun about saying that. But yeah, let's just do that. Let's just give them what they tell us they want. In business, we learned that we want to listen to the customer's needs and deliver on them because that's how we create value in the marketplace and that's how we make money. So if you want to be a more successful host on Airbnb, provide more value. Don't try to just get better reviews by gaming the system. And I'm not necessarily saying you shouldn't ask for 5-star reviews because I absolutely believe you should. Some guests will just leave 4-star reviews because they have this kind of, I call it the teacher effect, where some teachers you probably remember in your elementary school, your high school, that just didn't believe in perfection. So they would never give an A+, or they would never give 100%. And some people act the same way as guests on Airbnb. They'll just never give a 5-star review because they don't believe in perfection. But oftentimes if you reach out to those people and explain to them that 5-star reviews really help you to get more bookings and to improve your hosting overall and to be a better host, and that you also welcome any feedback they have so that you can improve and actually deliver more value, oftentimes those people will take the time to then go and write you a 5-star review and a glowing one, and also provide feedback on ways that you can improve, which to me is the jackpot. The only thing better than a 5-star review is a 5-star review with some critical feedback. They don't need to post that publicly. They can post that privately. There's the option for that as well. And that really, to me, those are the golden nuggets, because that gives you, number one, a 5-star review that's obviously quite helpful, but number two, even more valuable than that is the critical feedback that can help you, the constructive, I should say, feedback that will help you to improve your listing so you can deliver more value and be an even better host succeed more long term. So I would really highly recommend that in order to stop worrying and stressing and caring so much about your reviews, you just stop seeing them as critical and start seeing them as constructive, so that now you can actually be eager to get some less quality reviews, some lower than 5-star reviews, because you can see the opportunity that exists in them. Every single less than 5-star review has an opportunity for you to improve something, whether that's your communication, your cleaning procedures, the amenities your listing has, whatever it may be, there's an opportunity in there. And if you can learn to see it as such, then you can learn to stop stressing so much. And the really cool side effect of this is that I can almost guarantee you, if you do this and you really take this to heart, your reviews will naturally go up as a side effect and you will achieve SuperHost status. This is exactly what happened to us. I've put out another video on this channel talking about my listing and talking about how someone critiqued how low the reviews were. We were at 4.7, which I know, 4.7 out of 5. Oh my goodness, how could it possibly be that low? It might have even been 4.64 or something like that. And someone critiqued me and said, wow, your reviews really aren't up to snuff. And I got back to them. I actually did a video response to that, talking about why I don't care reviews and exactly this philosophy, and how I was actually glad to have some negative feedback early on, some negative feedback that was super constructive that helped us to improve. And wouldn't you know it, now we're SuperHost status on the account. We're getting glowing reviews from the guests that stay with us. And it's all because we took that constructive criticism and we turned it into improvements in listing that now provide more value. And hey, wouldn't you know it, we're doing really well. So I hope this helps for you. I hope this is valuable to you. Again, if you want any of the trainings that are linked in the description down below, just choose which one is the best fit for you. Make sure you check it out. I highly recommend it. It's going to help to really speed things up for you. Last but not least, if you like this video, if you got value from it, if you resonate with it, drop me a like. It really just, I know it takes just a second for you guys, and it really does help me out tremendously. So I appreciate those of you who do take a second to hit that like button. Also, subscribe to the channel if you want to stay up to date with all the videos we post. And with all that being said, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video.